ultra mirror that we hold while we hold Bhagavad Gita. So it is mirroring us actually. Where do we actually stand? Where do we actually stand in our self progress? Are we really ready to give up the comfort zone? Are we really ready to uplift ourselves to a level where the Lord is wanting us to take to? What are those obstacles that we are experiencing in reaching out to those goals? Are we managing to overcome those? Are we managing to overcome the physical barriers, mental barriers, emotional barriers? And are we ready to sacrifice for the sake of the truth? So holding Bhagavad Gita is holding a very ultra modern mirror. It's more powerful mirror than any other ordinary mirror that we see. And because it kinds of mirrors us, where do we actually stand? Beautiful, right? So that is why it's always a fortune to hold Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis. Okay. So at least we are being mirrored. Okay, friends. So with this sequence, let me take you to the discussion. Okay. Should I call Amma or Mala Didi? Okay. Does anybody remember where were we?
Like chapter 8.
Chapter 8.
We were going
Chapter
to start
8.
it.
I think it is Shlok 16.
No,
No.
chapter 8 we
We
started.
did only three of the
Oh,
8 chapters.
chapter 3. Shlok 3rd.
No,
You can
chapter,
start
No.
now.
Yesterday, we started chapter 8, and several of us went through the first 5 shlokas together.
Okay.
We tried to do the best that we could without
Oh,
you.
that's great. Everybody try. So we have completed chapter 7, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So
Remember,
now,
we did the japa?
yeah.
After we did, remember we did the japa, and that was to be done before we started chapter 8, right?
Yeah.
Remember all that now? I know a lot of time has passed, but you know, life goes on, things happen. So here we are.
Yeah, got it. Oh my God. So the name of the chapter, now we are going to start chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita, and the name of the chapter is Akshara Brahma Yoga. That is the name of the chapter. Akshara Brahma Yoga. Akshar has got two meanings. Akshara in Sanskrit, the Sanskrit letters are known as Akshara. Na Ksharati Titi Aksharaha. The one which is indestructible, the one which is imperishable, the one which cannot be perished, the one which cannot be destroyed. That is the meaning of Akshara. Brahma means infinite. Akshara Brahma Yoga means experiencing unification from someone who is actually a Rama, from someone who is infinite, imperishable entity. Look at the title of the chapter. It's so beautiful, isn't it? So are you really ready to understand Akshara Brahma Yoga? Feeling unification through a master, through a spiritual coach, that is Lord Krishna. From, kind of experiencing that unification towards something which is perpetual, which is infinite, which can never ever perish, and which is Brahma, which is so, broad. So that is the name of the chapter, Akshara Brahma Yoga. Okay, Shabnam Didi?
Yeah.
Naksharati titi aksharaha. This is Naya Tatpurush Samas. It has the Samas, the compounding of letter has happened, where the Naksharati titi akshara, the one which cannot be destroyed. So see the level of promotion that we experience after one chapter to another. So say all of you, Athashtamodhyayah.
Athasmodhayah.
Athashtamodhyayah.
Taschamodhyayah.
अथाष्टमोऽध्यायः अथ अष्टमः अध्यायः. Now we are going to begin the 8th chapter. Ashtamah Adhyayah. Ashtamah Adhyayah. The name of the chapter is Akshara Brahma Yoga. Okay. So say all of you. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Now Arjuna is raising his doubts. Arjuna said, King Tad Brahma Kimadhyatmang
Kim
Kim
Brahma
Kim
Kim
Dhyatma
King Karma Purushottama
Kim
Karma
Purushottama
Adhibhutang Cha King Prokta
Adhibhutam
Chakim
Prokta
Madhidaivam Kimuchyate.
Madhidevam Kimuchyate.
So Arjuna is asking Krishna, Kim Brahma? Hey Krishna, what do we mean by Brahma? What is the actual meaning of Brahma? What is the literal meaning of Brahma? How do we grammatically interpret it? So please tell me the overall perspective upon Brahma, because in our spiritual journey, we keep encountering this pada very often. Brahma, Brahma, Brahma. We have to reach out to that infinite. So now Arjuna is giving a pause and asking, Kim Brahma? What do we mean by Brahma? Kim Adhyatmam?
Kim Dhyatmam.
Okay, one is Brahma. At the same time, what do we mean by Adhyatma? What is the actual meaning of spirituality? You know, Adhyatma in English is translated as spirituality. So Brahma, if it is different, does Adhyatma is also different? What do we mean by Adhyatmam? Kim Karma, what is the meaning of action? Karma, Purushottama. Dear Purushottama, dear one of the upright form amongst other human beings, Lord Krishna, what do we mean by Brahma? What do we mean by spirituality? And what do we mean by action? Adhibhutang Chaking. What do we mean by Adhibhuta? And Adhidaivam Kimuchyate. What do we mean by Adhidaiva? Adhidaiva. You know, Adhibhuta, Adhidaiva, and Adhyatmika. These are the three pains which are elaborated by Maharshi Kapil in the Sankhya Darshan. And Maharshi Kapil says that if we overcome these pains, you know, the spirituality will help us to overcome these pain and suffering. You know, and the nature of that upaya, the solution would be that we will be liberated on a perpetual level. The problem will not come back to us. So Adhibhuta and Adhidaiva has also been mentioned in Sankhya philosophy. Arjuna is asking clarification upon these crucial Adhyatma.
Oh no.
Oh,
Is that okay?
No, you broke up, Archana Guru.
Arjuna is asking clarification upon the topic of Brahma, Adhyatma, Karma, Adhibhuta, and Adhidaiva. He's asking clarification. What do we mean by these terminologies? Shabnam Didi, okay?
Yeah.
So see, we are getting such a brilliant opportunity. The meaning of these terminologies to be decoded by Krishna himself. So through Arjuna, we will also end up in having clarification. Am I audible?
Yeah.
yes.
So say all of you, King Tad Brahma, Kimadhyatmang,
Kim Brahma. Kim Dhyatmam.
King Karma, Purushottama.
Kim
Dhamma
Purushottama.
Purushottama
Adhibhutam cha king prokta.
Adhibhutam
Adhibhutam
Shakim
Shakim
Prokta.
Prakam
Madhidaivam kimuchyate.
Adhidaivam Kimuchate.
Tate
Yajjah katham kotra.
Adhyana
Katham
Katam
Kotra
Protang
Dehesmin madhusudana.
Dehesmin
Esmin Madhusudana
Madhusudana.
Prayas kale cha katham geyosi.
Prayakale Katham
Katam
Jyosi
Jayosi
Niyatatmabhi.
Niyatatmabihi
Niyatatmabhi.
Wow.
Abhi
Look at the second query of Arjuna. Niyat atmabhiha. Prayad kale katham tvam geyaha asi. This is so beautiful. Arjuna is asking those who are constantly regular in their self-promotion. Niyat atmabhiha. Niyat atmabhiha means those who are regular in their self-promotion to the field of spirituality. Katham jeyaha asi prayan kale. At the time when they have to leave the body, at the time when they have to leave this body, gross body, and at the time of their death, katham jeyaha asi, how they end up in decoding the real Krishna, that is you. Asi is lat lakar madhyam purusha ekavachan. Katham jeyaha asi niyat atmabhiha. Those who are committed into their spiritual practices, how they can decode you, the real Krishna, at the time when they have to leave the body, at the time when they have to transcend the mana buddhi chitta hankara. So those who are committed in their self-promotion to the field of spirituality, how you decode them to your real self? Tell me, when they have to leave the body, prayana kala, when they have to transcend the mana buddhi chitta hankar. Is that okay, Lingeshwari Amma?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
See, the God can be, the Atman, Brahma, Akshar can be decoded only to those who have invested their time, money, energy, and everything when they are alive, when they are there in the gross body. At the end of the day, when they will believe, presume that some miracle will happen, the God will come and take them away, this is not going to happen. This is just a scientific, regular, committed procedure. Being focused, being determined to the path of spirituality will help us to transcend the mana buddhi chitta hankar at the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the body. Understandable? So Arjuna has understood this, that niyatatmabhiha, the Krishna element, the Krishna tattva can only be decoded by those who are committed in their spiritual journey. They are not accidentally sitting for meditation at the end of the day, at the end of, at the time when they have to leave the body. It is the journey which should be started from the basic, from the beginning. Then the Krishna consciousness shall be decoded to them. Understandable? So this is
Yes,
again
ma'am.
being mirrored. A myth has been broken that no miracle is going to dawn upon us unless and until we take up the challenges of overcoming those obstructions which are on the way to the spiritual progresses. Understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
So, प्रयाण काले कथं गेयः असि नियतात्मभिः. Niyatatmabhiya, those who are committed to the self growth, who are into the self, katham jeyah asi prayana kale adhiyajyah katham. What do we mean by adhiyajya? Dehesmin Madhusudanaha. And in this body, in this very body, how we will understand these elements within. Okay? Understandable? Because
ma'am.
the spirituality does not happen after we leave the body. After we leave the body goes what we have carried out throughout our life. So is asmina dehe, in this very gross body, we have to get in touch with that infinite self by remaining committed to the path of spirituality. So say all of you, adhiyajyah katham kotra. Dehesmin madhusudana.
Dehesmin Madhusudana
प्रयाण काले च कथं जेयोसि. नियतात्मभिः. So he is asking the fundamental crucial question which we might also encounter if we are deciding to rule, to move upon the path. What is Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What do we mean by karma? What do we mean by Adhibhuta and Adhidaiva? What do we actually mean by Adhiyajyaha? And how that infinite self, Krishna consciousness, can be decoded for those who are committed into the path of spiritual practices. Is that okay?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
these are the queries, multiple queries of Arjuna. And these queries are resolved by the Krishna. Thereby the name of the chapter is Akshara Brahma Yogaha. Akshara Brahma Yogaha. Feeling unification, Yogaha, from that infinite, perpetual self. Is that okay? That this is Krishna consciousness. So say all of you, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan.
Say all of you, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan
Aksharang Brahma Paramang.
Aksharam Brahma Paramam
Svabhavodhyatma Muchyate.
Manuchyate
Bhuta Bhavodbhavakaro. Visargah Karma Sanjitaha. My God. So in this slok, the Lord is defining what do we mean by Brahma, what do we mean by Adhyatma, and what do we mean by Karma. So out of multiple queries, the three queries have been addressed by Krishna in this slok itself. Are we ready?
Yes.
So the Lord says, Aksharang Brahma. What is Brahma? Anything which cannot perish. Imperishable is Brahma. Naksharatiti, the one which can never ever perish. Okay, so the body is perishable. This is not Brahma. We can decode, neti neti. So what is not Brahma, we can understand. And anything which cannot go beyond the mind, we'll have to dive deep into that self by transcending the intellect. So the Lord says, Aksharang Brahma. What is Brahma? Brahma is something which can never perish, which cannot be perished. Paramam, and that ultimate imperishable element is Brahma. So see, that ultimate Paramam Aksharam Brahma, that ultimate imperishable element is Brahma. So what is that ultimate imperishable tattva element? Koshua, can you highlight?
This would be anything that is not perishable. Then
This can
can
be anything which is not perishable. That ultimate imperishable element is Brahma. So if someone is asking what do we mean by Brahma, we can define it. Aksharam Paramam Brahma. That infinite imperishable element is Brahma. Isn't it, Shabnam Didi?
Yes.
So we have been given such a beautiful definition of Brahma, that ultimate infinite imperishable element is Brahma. Okay, so we can understand what is not Brahma. And majority of the attachment is something which is Kshara, a Brahma. So we'll have to drop, we'll have to let go those attachments, sluggish attachment that we have been unfortunately carrying within. That is why the path of spirituality is the path of bravery. Only the brave can walk the path. Ordinary people cannot walk the path of spirituality. They can only talk about it. They might think about it. But walking the path of spirituality is the task of those who are ready to let go something which is perishable, something which is not infinite. Okay? This is how the Brahma Gita is mirroring us. So say all of you, Aksharang Brahma Paramang.
Aksharam Brahma Paramam.
So look at the father of Shankaracharya. When the death came and he was asking for his permission that the body is now to be dropped by him, how centered he was, the father of Shankaracharya. He did not panic because he was connected to that infinite self. He did not cry. He did not beg. Only thing which he asked from the death was to give him some time so that he could complete his sadhana. He said that I'm going to take bath. Please stay here for a while. Let me complete my Sandhya Vandanam and then you can come and take me. And after he completed his Sandhya Vandanam, he lied down on the floor of his own. He called his 3-year-old son, told him to chant the mantras of Bhagavad Gita, and while in between he left his body. He told the death to come. Okay. So this is how the spirituality gives us centeredness. Non-panicking attitude can be developed only when we adhere the path of spirituality. Okay. So Aksharang Brahma Paramang.
Aksharam Brahma Paramam.
Paramam.
Swabhavodhyatma muchyate.
Swabhavodhyatmanuchyate.
Swabhavaha adhyatma uchyate. Oh my God. The definition is na bhavishyati. How adhyatma has been defined by Lord Krishna. This is something which we can never ever achieve this scientific definition. He says that what is adhyatma? Swabhavaha, the real you. The real you, Swabhavaha, diving deep to the real core self, that is infinite Brahma, is Adhyatma. Atmani Adhi, in that real you, the real self, Swabhava. When we get in touch with the real self, the procedure which takes us to the real self is spirituality. Understandable? The procedure which takes us to the real self is spirituality. So what is that procedure? As mandated by Guru and Krishna, meditating, adhering to Seva Sadhana Satsang, being brave enough to understand the truth and the realities of life, and helping yourself and others to transcend the sluggish attachment. Okay? These are all the procedures which takes us to the self. My God, how far we are from these letters which are embedded in the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. And we are again and again mirrored by the Krishna. Look at the reality. Go for the reality check. So, say all of you, Swabhavodhyatma muchyate. That's how the Adhyatma has been defined by the Krishna. Adhyatma is the procedure which takes us to the real self, which means Any other procedure which do not take us to the real self is not spirituality, isn't it?
Mm.
So the anger can never be spirituality because it brings frustration and depression in us. So anything which, kinds of separates us from the real self can never ever be spirituality. Off-centered attitude, off-centered mindset is not spirituality. Okay? So swabhavaha adhyatma uchyate. Then karma. The Lord is defining karma, action. What is karma? Bhuta bhavodbhava karo.
Bhavo Bhavakaro
Visargah karma sanjitah.
Visargaha
Karma
Oh
Sanjitaha
my God. What is action? Oh my God. Oh my God. What is Sanskrit? I can't tell you. It is such a divine, scientific, modern languages. Oh my God. The Lord
You,
is defining karma. Yes,
Archana,
Amma?
you understand it fully, so you can appreciate it a lot. But me, I am not deep into it yet. So,
You are into the procedure, Didi. Don't worry. You are still on level 2 Sanskrit. Slowly and gradually it will happen for you. Such a dedicated soul. Why will it not happen to you? Why? The way it happened to me and the way it is happening to me, the same way it will happen to you as well.
yeah, I really admire you. You are able to understand it so deeply and appreciate it, which I cannot
Tapas,
yet.
param tapaha. That is why the Krishna is reminding us that you are param tapasvi. You adhere to austerities. Something which you feel is impossible will be made impossible for you, possible for you. So tapas, austerities makes impossible possible. Yes, Akoshwa.
I just want to say also to Shabnamji that I also am just a beginner. I don't understand it the way that Ajahn Guru does, but when I hear a shlok in English, and then when I hear the same shlok in Sanskritam, something else dawns in me, a different feeling dawns in me. And so I think even though we don't understand it at the same level, the power of these sounds, of these words, I think it reaches something within us.
Yeah.
I think it stirs a memory in us from long ago
Mhm.
that we are only now in these times, these so-called modern times, bringing to the surface so we can gain understanding and
Yeah.
appreciation, each
Yeah.
of us. So I think that's partly what's happening.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost brought to tears just from hearing the shloks.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
Everybody, gratitude. Yeah, there is nothing called rocket science Archana is able to decode because Archana worked really hard. She has broken almost her head, mana buddhi chitta ahankar upon these shlokas since childhood. Tapa, paran tapa. That is why. So up to some extent, maybe better than you.
I would like to say too that each person who is in this class, you may not understand now, but you are clearly making the effort, you're wanting to understand, you're appreciating, you're having gratitude for the knowledge that's being given to you. And gradually the awareness dawns with the dedication to the reading and attempt to understanding the Bhagavad Gita. So incredibly beautiful. So don't beat yourself up too much. Just say, be committed to continue.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Pam. So, say all of you, Bhuta Bhavodbhava Karo.
Bhuta
Bhavakaro.
Visargaha Karma Sanjitaha.
Visargaha karma samjitaha.
In this shloka, the Lord is talking about what do we mean by action. Bhutbhavaha udbhavakaraha. The entire ecosystem, that is Bhuta, when they are propelled to, when some feeling arises in them and they put it into action, visargaha, that is karma. Bhut bhavaha udbhava karo. Guna sandhi has happened here. Bhut bhavaha udbhava karaha. What is action? Action is the bhava. The preconditions of action is a feeling has arisen in them, due to which they are propelled towards an action. That is equal to karma. Isn't it? What is karma? Why are we listening this knowledge? Because we are, kind of, a feeling came. So let's log into Zoom and let's sit with Geeta classes, okay? So bhut bhavaha udbhava karaha. What is action? Action is equal to bhut bhava udbhava kara. There is a feeling happens in between us, in each one of us, and thereby this feeling propels us to do some action. That is equal to action, isn't it? This
Yeah.
action can be bad, good. The action can be rajasic, tamasic, sattvic. It can be moderately tamasic. It can be extensively tamasic, whatever it is. But these action, the root of these action is a feeling arose, udbhava karaha. And due to that feeling, we are propelled, we move, we are driven to that direction. That is action. Isn't it, Dr. Lingeshwari?
Yes, yes, I agree. Yeah, first
We are hearing to
intent.
Gurudev. Now we are wanting to do his Sanyam. So that is Bhav which has Udbhava Karaha. The Bhav which has propelled in us. And that Bhav is driving us crazy to do the Sanyam course. That is converted into action. So every proportionate feeling in us is now transliterated as action. That is karma. Shabnam Didi.
Yeah.
That's how the Lord defines. Koshua, whenever I used to read Bhagavad Gita in front of my Gurudev, many a time I used to have this bhava like you are having. This is a very divine feeling, and very rare people have this bhava. That when they get in touch with the shloka, they feel like, in gratitude, they feel like crying. It has happened many a time with me when I used to be in touch with my Acharya Purnchand Upadhyay. You know what I used to do? At least you are able to hide yourself, hide your tear by switching off the camera. I had no option. In front of my Gurudev, there were so many people, and I used to literally blast in front of him. That was the level of bhav in me, that I was not able to hide my tears. I used to cry like a child.
Wow.
And tears used to roll up to an extent that my Gurudev's feet were all being, were all wet all around. The carpet was wet, the feet were wet. And I'm so thankful that Gurudev took it lightly.
You're so lucky, Archana ji.
Yeah?
You were
Beautiful.
so lucky to sit in front of your guru and learn like that. And wonderful, great luck. You're so lucky and fortunate.
No doubt about it, Amma.
And you
have that.
also said that your father had been the one who encouraged you to do that. So even that was a great fortune, to have born into a family where they would,
Actually,
support
yes.
you to do that and encourage you.
And it's good to have those tears of gratitude, It's it feels so good, when those
The
tears
deities
come
are
out.
storing these tears of gratitude for you to reward it in future, Kaposhwa. Don't worry. These tears of gratitude will not go in waste. They are all being stored gracefully with gratitude by the deities, and you will be rewarded the way I have been rewarded. Okay?
Yeah.
So, say all of you, Bhuta Bhavo Bhavakaro.
Bhavakaro,
Sargah Karma Sanjitah.
Visargah karma
Karma
sanjitah.
sanchitaha.
So what is how the karmas are accumulated? when the bhava, when the feeling comes in us, you know, in the entire ecosystem, and then we move towards, which propels us to do, put it into action, that is equal to karma. And that is how slowly and gradually karma sanjitaha, accumulation of multiple karmas happens. You know, we say now the bad karmas are accumulated, the good karmas are accumulated. So how does that happen? It because of the feeling that comes in us. From where does that feeling come? That feeling comes with surrounding, with sangati, company, isn't it? So we will have to be very careful with respect to the surrounding in which we are there, or with respect to the company in which we live. Okay. So the Lord in this shloka has defined the three important queries of Arjuna. That is, what do we mean by Brahma? What do we mean by spirituality? And what do we mean by karma? And what do we mean by karma sanjitaha, accumulated karmas? And from where does it originate? Okay, Shabnam Didi?
Yeah.
Yeah. So say all of you, Aksharam. Yes, Pam, you were wanting to say something?
You were talking about karma accumulating, but also karma can be good accumulation. Like I
Okay.
keep thinking, as we're talking about all this, I'm remembering when I was learning to do the Guru Puja from Banu, Guru's sister. I
Yeah.
asked her toward the end of the class, I said, I'm a little worried because we didn't study this part so much. She just looked at me and smiled and said, don't worry, you'll remember everything. And when I went home, I kept thinking, how can I remember what I don't know? What I don't understand. But of course, she was right. And I'm thinking, okay, is that a remembering part of my karma? Somehow, something in the past, supported whatever my efforts or activities are today. Our tendencies even to want to be in this class.
Yeah, actually.
So it's cumulative and it's very beautiful because even when we get down or a little bit conflicted these days, we know that that's just a passing thing and that we have the support of the divine consciousness or the Brahma all the time in every area of our life. So we can relax and think, okay, maybe I'm having a bad day, but so what? This will pass. The divine is always there, everywhere present. So
the friends, the Lord is wanting to tell us that there is nothing called rocket science. You'll have to scientifically and with so much of awareness walk the path of spirituality. What is not spirituality is understood to us. Spirituality is every procedure which helps us to take us to that infinite self. Okay, so the Lord has already decoded the meaning of Brahma, Adhyatma, and Karma Sanjitaha, accumulated karma. The next slok is Adhibhutam Sharo Bhavaha.
Adhibhutam Sharo Bhavaha
Purushas Chadhidaivatam.
Purushasthadaivatam
Oh my God. Adhiyajyo Hamevatra.
Adhiyajyo Hamevatra
Dehe Deha Bhratangvara.
Dehe Deha Pratambara.
Now in this next shloka, he's talking about what do we mean by Adhibhuta and Adhiyajya. The Lord says that Adhibhutam Ksharo Bhavaha. Whatever feeling of perishable, every perishable feeling in us is all affiliated with Adhibhuta. Adhibhutam Ksharo Bhavaha. All the feeling which is related to perishment, which perishes, they all come under the category of Adhibhuta. Means the body is Adhibhut. Mana Buddhi Chitta Hankar is Adhibhut. The universe is Adhibhuta. And that is what, when we are walking the path of spirituality, We have to transcend the Adhibhuta,
Asaraha.
isn't it? Because Adhibhutam Ksharo Bhavaha, all the perishable element in the entire system are, located, are defined as Adhibhuta. Is that okay?
Ah,
So
Adhibhutam
spirituality
means
is
what?
walking the path which could take us to the Swabhava self. Karma is accumulated karma, the feeling first, the root of every karma, when we have the bhava and then we are oriented towards an action. Brahma is that infinite self, and Adhibhut is something which is opposite to that Brahma. Param Akshar Brahma, which is just opposite, contrary. Everything which is opposite to Para Akshar Paramam Brahma is Adhibhuta. Adhibhutang Sharo Bhavaha. Anything which perishes is Adhibhuta. Is that okay?
Yeah, all the elements, bhuta, all the elements.
All the elements, all the perishable element is
Sure.
Adhibhuta. Very good. All the perishable elements are Adhibhuta. So see how things are being scientifically demarcated. Friends, you may continue this journey of your own, because of the heavy travel, I have developed the, stomach infection. So I'm not able to speak a lot. Okay. So you please continue. We'll meet in the next class. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
take
you.
good care of yourself, Jai Gurudev.
Yeah,
We
Ma.
love
Thank
you.
you.
I hope
We
you
love
feel
Thank
you.
better.
you.
We love
Same
you.
here.
Bye.
Same
Thank
here.
you.
Jai
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.